So I've been playing a game that prior to this podcast, I had no idea, Peter, that you actually did graphic design for it, and that's Lucky's Misadventures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Lucky's Misadventures is a game by Jay Meyer by Great Northern Games. The artistry is from Abigail Larson, Michael D. Clark, and of course yours truly, Peter Wilkin. You did what part of the design did you do for Lucky's Misadventures?
Well, for most of the stuff, I do graphic art. So I did logo, card frames, icons, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I think
obviously rules.
Yeah, I think Abigail did the illustrations, right?
Yeah, she did most of the illustrations, and then all the mechanical ones were done by a different artist.
Yeah.
Did you get the puppy promo pack?
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, we did get the. So Sam actually, Sam Shimoda and he got his Kickstarter copy, and that's who I've been playing with, and it's actually hit the table since.
Nice.
A couple times when we get together on Sundays, he and I played it. And for those that don't know, Lucky's Misadventures, it is episode 42, Lost in Oddtopia, and it's there's no other 41 episodes. It's just episode 42.
That's really good.
But it's a deck building game. But what's cool about, and I'm not a fan of deck builders, but what's cool about this deck building game is that out of a hand of 5, normally you just kind of play your hand, add up everything, and then buy something. In this one, you actually only play 3 cards out of the 5, and then there are 2 different kind of like tracks. Well, there's 3 tracks, but there's like 2 tracks that you can buy stuff out of. There's the Wicked track where you buy a combination of like Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz like interpretations. And then there's a junk track where you can basically buy like, what is it, clockwork gizmos or like time machines. There's like a bunch of different,
and like stuff that you can cobble together into crafting different cards.
Right, exactly. So you can either win by points, you can either win by crafting like a series of like playing 3 cards from your hand that basically trigger the end game. Like you can get the 3 sisters. You can like invoke Pumpkin Ted, and there's
a whole bunch of like really specific win conditions.
Very specific win conditions. Yes.
You are also feeding mushrooms to the Great Toad Overlord or something like that, and you're supposed to chant "Feed the toad, feed the toad."
Yes, you have to feed the toad. So there's this fate deck, and every time you flip cards in the fate deck, you have to like go feed the toad. And so we would like completely riff on, Sam and I would completely like, we would like chant it, and then we'd like put it in song form, which is another cue to the musical episode of this podcast.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Excellent.
And so you also like pass around this really nice heavy coin that is a first player token. It's like a really, really cool first player token. But anyways, it's a really, really charming game. The instruction manual for it is actually really well written and done. Like it's great because Jay kind of goes into some personal touches in terms of like what he does playing the game. So it's like you have to chant "Feed the Toad." It's not a rule. Well, it might as well be, but but we certainly do it, which makes it a lot more fun. And then there was actually one of my favorite features of the game is if someone's taking too long to play the game, find a picture in the room and point and stare at it. Like that's what they say to do. And like there's no timer. There isn't like, hey, play. It's you just pick a random picture or point at something and just stare at it. That's all you do. And it's hilarious because we started doing it, and it's like totally like you kind of like, you're like, oh, I really got to do something. So funny. It's great.
Well, and Jay is local to the Twin Cities.
Yes.
And he's just a really great guy. And I've worked on that and also Council of Blackthorn with him.
Yeah. Noble Treachery is his first game too.
Yes.
I know that Sam really loves anything Jay Meyer puts out, and I can tell why with Lucky's Misadventures that this is a neat little deck builder. I like it a lot. Originally, the artwork put me off, but as I've played the game, I've actually been really keen on it now too. I think Abigail did lovely work on it, Michael, and of course yourself. And that isn't just because you're here. I think it's a really well put together game that has a very kind of unique art style that fits this whole mishmash of like a dark undertone of Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland to it. It's neat.
Okay, I should check that out. I think my wife would really enjoy that. For like half that description, I understood the words you were saying individually, but like put together, I still had no idea what was going on, and it sounds beautiful.
Oh yeah, check it out. It's all you need to know. It's a deck building game. There's conditional win scenarios by buying cards and laying them out on your hand, or after going through the Fate deck twice, the game just ends and you count up points.
So there's a natural timer for the end of the game, but there's always like conditional things that you can do to win the game faster.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not as crazy as like Flux or anything like that.
No,
right? It's more controlled than that. Okay.
No, you have way more control than a game like Flux.
Oh, that sounds great. And it's by Great Northern Games. What else do they do?
Council Blackthorn.
Done Council Blackthorn, and they've
Noble
done
Treachery.
Noble Treachery.
Those are the only. So this is the third game that they've done. Yep.
Well, what's awesome is Jay just creates games that he and his play group really enjoy playing, and like he just strips down other games, pulls out the components, makes his own thing, and he's got a ton of ideas. So
that's cool.
Hopefully eventually I have more bandwidth to work on some other stuff with them, but we'll see.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll check it out. Where can one find this game? Is it easily findable?
I assume so.
No, it's so Kickstarter backers were getting their copies, and I don't believe it's out on retail yet.
But it will be at some point.
I hope so. So they used Quartermaster to fulfill. And Quartermaster, and that just might be for Kickstarter fulfillment. But as far as publishers go, Council of Blackthorn, at least here in Minnesota, I was able to find. I don't know if it might get to Utah or Colorado, wherever it might be. Who knows? Okay. I hope so. But
it doesn't look like their website's got a buy thing. You can probably just reach out to them.
If only we knew connections to Jay Meyer and Great Northern Games.
Well, I'm not gonna dox his like email address.
Or no, just kidding. That's awesome. Okay,
but I will give you his actual home address. And that
thank you. I appreciate that. His phone number is
send him the snail mails
555
555 1212. Awesome.